Greetings, this is William Jackson from the United States of America, and I just want to say I am so proud and happy to be attending WordCamp Kampala there in Uganda, Africa, this year of 2023. This presentation is recorded to help share information about the growing metaverse revolution and evolution that is taking place globally and directly influencing the continent of Africa. I am so humbled and appreciative of being this opportunity to speak at WordCamp Kampala. And it's a great opportunity and a wonderful chance for me to share some information directly related to the metaverse. As we go through our conversation here, and sharing content and information, we want to make sure everyone understands that this is a digital evolution as well as a digital revolution. And we're blending this evolution with WordPress because this is a WordPress conference here at WordCamp Kampala, but also the influence of web development, content creation, the implementation of AI, which is artificial intelligence, VR, which is virtual reality. And we all have to understand that we are in transformative times. And these times are changing how life and people are living in their everyday lives, dealing with, addressing, integrating, implementing, and being creative and being innovative with different areas of technology. These are wonderful times that we can share our content, share our knowledge. And again, welcome. Your host on this journey is myself, William Jackson. I'm going to give great shout out to my wife, Aida Jackson. We are educators. I am a retired educator here in Jacksonville, Florida, 33 years. And I had the honor of being a STEAM teacher, which is science, technology, engineering, arts, math, and for the last several years, integrating the metaverse. We are certified VR teachers with Victory XR and Engage. That basically means that we enjoy taking content, blending it, and evolving it to be post on metaverse environments which are immersive and you can attend as an avatar and engage in the learning process. Now, interesting enough, being involved in a metaverse environment, the statistics have shown that those that are attending instruction are 40 to 50% more where there's an increase in retainment of information. Our brains, our minds are designed to be creative. They're designed to be innovative. They're designed to have imagination, not just to memorize information. We are dynamic creatures of habit and purpose. So having immersive environments available are very productive and very helpful in the learning process. We are also proud members of the World Metaverse Council. This past year, Aida and I have volunteered our time to help strategize, to help plan, to help coordinate, to help provide instruction in the metaverse, not just locally here in Jacksonville, Florida, but globally as well on multiple platforms. And we were, again, really proud to be here to speak about these areas of technology. This is my contact information. Here, my Twitter handle is MyQuest2Teach, where you can follow me and also connect with my wife Aida, where we share content information. Our IG or Instagram is MyQuest2Teach as well. My LinkedIn is William D. Jackson, blogger, and my email is here as well, myquest2teach@gmail.com. So as technology changes, as it adapts, at the bottom is my TikTok address. Now, I never really thought of being a TikToker or or content creator on that platform, but I found it to be very engaging, very rewarding, at times demanding because you have to uh, get your ideas formulated of the type of videos and top content that you wanted posted on TikTok. Now, this translates to other platforms as well because you want to be engaging. You want to draw your audience in. You want to provide relevant and important information that is real, that is relevant, and that's reliable as well. So from Twitter to Instagram to LinkedIn to Facebook to TikTok to all those other elements is important as we grow into content creations, whether we look at it ourselves as experts or novice or beginners or intermediate, whatever. Our content is a reflection of who we think we are, sharing our knowledge and being engaged with our audiences, which is very, very important. Technology, as we know, is growing globally, and there are certain avenues people take. They're either scared, terrified, in denial. Some people are actually giddy and excited, and some people have hopeful expectations of the wonderful changes that technology is bringing us. In the world, on our planet Earth, 69% of the world is online through some type of access. Unfortunately, around 43% of Africa since 2021 has had access to being online. Now, there's multiple reasons for this. Access to satellite technology, access to Wi-Fi technology, finances. So there are multiple reasons. But coming here today, I think the important and valuable aspect is the sharing content, sharing information, and to empower those here attending the WordCamp, but also across the continent. I've been doing work for the last several years, I believe since 2018, sponsoring students, sponsoring teachers, sponsoring young entrepreneurs to attend WordCamp conferences across the continent. And I'm proud to say that the feedback I have been receiving is very positive and very forthcoming because our youth, teens, young adults are the future of this world. And we have to empower them. We have to engage with them. We have to inspire them. We have to motivate them. We have to provide the resources that are necessary for them to grow in a positive direction. So looking at the continents here, we have Antarctica, we have Africa, we have Australia, we have South America, we have Asia, Europe, and North America. And doing research, many people do not know that Africa is the second largest continent on the planet Earth. You can fit the United States, you can fit several other countries on the continent of Africa. So it's important that we understand the geographical size of Africa and the influence that Africa can have in our world. And it's very important that we understand this and take this into account. So coming to terms with the geographical location and geographical size of Africa is very important, and taking into the context that as citizens of this planet, it is important for us to be able to help each other and inspire each other. As technology grows, we have to understand that we are growing algorithm. And understanding an algorithm helps to maintain order, and it guides and it assists and it helps in searching and making connections on digital platforms. So the more we hear about AI, the more we hear about the metaverse, the more we hear about Web3, the more we hear about all the other elements that are slowly, and maybe not necessarily slowly, but growing and evolving. Um, Digitally, technology uses binary code to work, to access information, to think. Binary code consists of ones and zeros. So understanding how computers think and understanding the rationale behind the blending of different content creators or platforms or apps is really important because as it grows and evolves, technology learns who we are, our likes, our dislikes, and the information that represents us. We have AI, VR, Web3, the metaverse, and the other words. or information that's out there. We have the blockchain, we have NFTs, um, and these all influence and continue to influence and will greatly influence the growth of Africa, even with the use of social media, using Twitter, using Instagram, using TikTok, using Facebook, which is now Meta, and all the other areas. Africans need to think how they're using those social platforms to grow and expand as business owners and as entrepreneurs. The important aspect is understanding the history as well. So when we talk about the metaverse, there was a gentleman called Neil Stevenson. He is the author of a book called Snow Crash. And in the book Snow Crash, the word metaverse was used. It is a 3D representation of the internet, kind of like the internet on steroids. So it's important that we understand that and take that in its context. So as we talk about historical applications, I'm going to date myself a little bit. Um, I've been using the internet myself since the early 1990s, and it has been a transition from using modems from the lowest speed possible to the highest speed possible during that transition in development. A modem actually means modulation, demodulation. So basically modems, when two modems are connecting together, and many of you may remember that when you're dialing out through a phone line from your computer to connect to another modem to get on the internet, there was a sequence of connections and sounds that were created coming from the modem. And when the modems connected, they had this little screeching sound. And when they initially agreed on a baud rate or a transmission rate of information, then it would make that connection. In this day and age with Wi-Fi, with high-speed internet, with cable, with satellite communications, we no longer have to deal with those issues. Most of them are with stable connections and finances to have those connections. So our areas of technology have changed from one type of connection to another type of connection, but there's still other challenges. And the metaverse has allowed us to be involved in multiple types of communication. So we can communicate with people locally, nationally, and internationally. If you were to ask me maybe 20, 25 years ago, would I be speaking or presenting at a conference in Africa, my mind would have thought that I would have to attend in person. But with our technology, we can collaborate, we can cooperate, we can do multiple things virtually using these dynamic technologies that we have. In relation to WordPress, WordPress needs to be prepared for and continue to prepare and adapt for all of these digital changes that are going to influence our ability to design websites, to build digital connections, to create and develop the information that people as web developers, as graphic designers, now as we move into immersive environments, creating these environments that will ultimately connect with, pair with, and evolve with WordPress. I've been a part of WordPress since 2010. I've been blessed to be able to speak at WordPress conferences, WordCamp conferences since 2017. And it's been a wonderful experience. My wife and I have been traveling together since 2018, speaking at multiple conferences about using WordPress, accessing WordPress, the development of WordPress, and also teaching in kids and youth camps as well. So the blending of Web3, the metaverse, all of those changes are substantial in the way we collaborate, in the way we work together, and how we are going to prepare for the future to be sustainable. So again, we have AI, VR, and the metaverse influences. But we also have to look at the accessibility issue as well. Uh, The accessibility issues with people that are struggling with mobility, they may have anxiety with being in large groups. Because we're still coming out of a pandemic, Africa is at a crossroads with technology. There's different types of technology available, but the continent itself, the people, the, the, the most powerful natural resource in Africa is the people. How do we prepare for Africa for the future? How do we prepare ourselves with the tools and the platforms and apps and all that's available to have Africa continue to move forward to be the influencer and the inspiration and the innovation that needs to happen to keep Africa relevant? We have to remember that great content matters, not just quantity. If you're a blogger, I'm sure as a blogger, you can develop all kind of content that just comes off the top of your head. You can write blogs all day. If you're a video blogger, you can record images or record video all day. If you're a graphic designer, you can create different types of graphics. But you can put hundreds, if not thousands, of different type of content out there, which is the quantity. But that may not influence people to follow you. That may not influence people to overcome challenges. That may not influence people to embrace the greatness that is within. But quality, great content is important and it's valuable. It's important to have a strategic and a dynamic plan for the immersive environments that you ultimately will be in. Because in the next 2 to 3 years, many businesses, many entrepreneurs, commerce will move to the metaverse. So, how does the metaverse support your business interests and goals? And it's important to run what we call a social media brand plan. And that plan involves making a list of your social media platforms and looking at the individual strategic dynamic data points of each to see who's looking at your content, who's sharing your content, who's replying to your content, who is using your content to build their business interests or their entrepreneurial interests. Creating content, if you've been doing over a certain amount of time, as myself, started from my passion to wanting to write, my passion to want to be a blogger, my passion to want to be a video blogger. But the content that I create and share goes beyond just me. Now it's, what does my audience want? How can I support my audience? How can I motivate youth, teens, and young adults in these different areas of technology for them to grow and respond, particularly on my beloved continent of Africa? When we're talking about tech, we're not talking about video games, but we're talking about the engagement of intellectual information. We're talking about modeling behaviors that are positive. We're talking about sharing content that expands over days, weeks, months, and years. Now, there are certain video links that are embedded into the PowerPoint presentation. So at your leisure, I would encourage you to watch this video clip called Did You Know 2028? And it shows the changing of technology. It shows across the scope of this world how technology influences us intellectually, socially, emotionally, economically, and how with the use of technology, we can grow and expand beyond where we are. There are certain takeaways as a teacher of 33 years. I still find that there are important takeaways that need to be talked about. One, new technology can complement business and entrepreneurialism. As an entrepreneur, you are always looking for information that can empower you, inspire you, and help you grow as a business owner. The metaverse, we need to understand, is adaptable and applicable to multiple areas of business, but it still requires imagination, creativity, and innovation for us to use those platforms. In our mind, we need to be creative. We need to embrace creativity. We need to embrace innovation. and we need to make sure that we use our imaginations. Unfortunately, in the educational system as a teacher, I found that education does not always inspire imagination. It does not always inspire creativity, and it does not always inspire innovation. Unfortunately, education inspires rote memorization and assessment, which in many ways hinders the growth aspect that entrepreneurs and business owners need. So we need to move beyond that. We need to understand that we need to educate ourselves in many areas. We need to blend the technologies that are taking and making our lives easier with digital integration of AI, VR, Metaverse, the internet, and importantly, WordPress. As WordPress users and WordPress creators and designers and coders and programs, we integrate WordPress into our life, but we also have to make sure we take those other elements that surround us and integrate it into WordPress. Using the metaverse helps us create dynamic content that helps with collaboration, cooperation, and taking our brands and expanding it. It is beyond just competition. Competition is important, but in this world of global commerce, we need to see how we can collaborate with each other and how we can cooperate. The IoT, or the Internet of Things, helps devices connect, and this connectivity can empower the people of Africa. We are now connecting cars, smartphones, refrigerators, vacuum cleaners, robots, televisions, all types of equipment. But we must make sure that Africa herself is connected, that there are all models that are out there that are available for connectivity. To help with this are AI models. Now, there are multiple AI models that you see on this screen. Some we are familiar with, ChatGPT, Bard, and multiple other areas. Because of the expanse and changing and evolution and revolution of technology, it is important that we're not necessarily experts, but we are familiar, because when we have conversations with people, we want to make sure that we are in the same way available to communicate and talk to each other. When we're talking about connecting cars with Wi-Fi and AI, when we're talking about connecting small appliances like refrigerators or toasters or televisions, when we're talking about connecting security systems, cybersecurity, and connecting all of those elements through the internet, when we're talking about how to adapt and change agriculture, because agriculture equipment now are being connected to AI, to the metaverse, to virtual reality, to empower farmers. When we're talking about retail stores globally that are connecting with their customers, when we're talking about the ability to make purchases electronically and digitally, it's important. Healthcare from home, virtually, those areas are important because we're making those digital connections. One of the key tools are our smartphones. And I often, during presentations, have our youth teams and young adults say this. I ask them, or actually I have them repeat, that this can be your best friend or your worst enemy. We are in the age of digital technology, Wi-Fi, high-speed internet access. Manufacturing equipment can be controlled by a device, a handheld device. And we are connecting our cities. Our respective militaries have been doing this for years. Now, in civilian life, and people that are working jobs and working on careers and going to school and in business and commerce are having access to these technologies. Our AI models are important. Now, the term assistive generative technology can level the playing field for African businesses and entrepreneurs. These three sites, if you're an educator, or even if you have youth, teens, and young adults in different age groups and grade levels. These YouTube videos explain what is AI. Now, even though I put it in here for different categories, adults can access these as well. So it's important that adults, if you're still learning about AI, if you're still wanting to know what is AI, you've heard the term artificial intelligence, you heard chat GPT, you've heard Bard, you heard some of the other ones. But now to actually see how you can use it and apply it, these links will help you as well. The more education you have, the better you're prepared to engage in conversations and determine whether you want to implement this technology. What is the metaverse? The metaverse is augmented and virtual realities. Artificial intelligence is embedded. Connectivity is linked to global knowledge that will assist Africans to grow beyond where they are. You don't have to physically leave where you are to engage in metaverse activities. Your perception is the reality on the metaverse, meaning you are what you want to be virtually in virtual environments. If you haven't seen the spatial gallery for WordCamp Kampala, there is a link that is provided here in this presentation to WordCamp Kampala that I would encourage you to go look at, where you're walking around as an avatar. And depending on the time during the day, you may see me in there building and designing and adding content. That is not just something that I have done, but it's a collaboration from the organizers of WordCamp Kampala, providing content, providing information that I've taken and used to develop in an immersive environment, which addresses accessibility. There are hundreds, if not thousands, of people that want to attend WordCamp conferences, but they can't because they suffer from or challenged with mobility, whether they're in a wheelchair, whether they have medical conditions, and even coming out of the pandemic, many people now feel still stressed, still anxious to be around a lot of people. But using these resources will help allow people virtually to come in and share content. The link below also is a YouTube video to linking to what the metaverse is for people to better understand what it is and how you can make connections. What can the metaverse do? Being able to team build with projects and presentations. Being able to collaborate locally, nationally, and globally. Having a global platform that is immersive in an environment. When you're looking at this short video clip, here you see the example of an immersive environment. And again, if there's someone that has mobility issues, that may have mental health issues, that may be homebound or hospital bound, or lack transportation, the metaverse opens up a world where you can virtually be engaged, be involved, be innovative, and be creative in your design as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, and even as a student. There are many educational uses as well that can be applied. The different levels that we need to understand are the early development of the internet, where you could chat, you had to use modem to communicate, you use physical telephone lines. But educationally and learning, the second level, using social media, you did have digital connections, and we're still doing that now. There was great interactivity. As I said before, you can use your phone, you could use a laptop, you can use a tablet. Many people still use desktop computers. All of this allows you to connect. The metaverse, as we just talked about, interactivity is big in virtual worlds. Again, the devices you can use, your phone, a tablet, a laptop. You can even use an Oculus, but you don't necessarily have to. It is so diverse in the area of technology that it's wonderful to know that you can connect and interact with people globally. There are hundreds of metaverses being created, not just Meta, which used to be Facebook. That's just one, but there are actually hundreds that are available. Here are links to educational uses and sites for you to access. So when you have an opportunity, some of these are augmented reality, some of these are virtual reality. They are videos that share what can be done on the metaverse. How augmented reality, the blending of real and digital, can help. Now, access to content is important. This also still represents why access to technology is important. These sites are sites that Aida and I use. As I said before, we are virtual reality certified educators through Victory XR and Engage XR, VR. These sites are free to register depending on your engagement and your activity. Spatial is what I use to build spatial galleries for WordCamp conferences. In the process of WordCamp in Masaka, WordCamp in Jinja, WordCamp in Nairobi, also WordCamps in Central America, and WordCamps in other geographical regions of the world. Designing and building for these for the purpose of helping people that are challenged with mobility issues, hospital bound, homebound, to give them opportunities to engage in our wonderful and beautiful community. Africa is primed and ready for this type of engagement. So we must reach out, we must connect. There are project-based learning opportunities that are out there, not just lecture, but being able to build, design, and create. There are team building opportunities out there where you can share projects. The SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals, are integrated or are being integrated in the metaverse now. There are 17 SDGs that are important to all aspects across the continent of Africa because they open up avenues for collaboration and cultural learning. The blending of WordPress with all of these dynamic technologies is possible. You just need to make sure that you are innovative, creative, thought-provoking, and use your imagination. Mobility issues are addressed, and that's key and that's important because I've hit on that on several times. Because there are hundreds, if not thousands, of people in the nations of Africa and across the continent that would love to attend a WordCamp conference in person, but because of some type of issue, medical, financial, transportation, they are not able to. But using these accesses to these tools are important. Inclusion for all, learning for girls is important and valuable because we must understand girls and women are the nurturers of our community and they must be included in this educational process as well. Boys and men have creativity, they have innovation, they have imagination which must be embraced and encouraged as well. So working together and sustaining the connectivity and collaboration, not competition, is important. And as I mentioned before, the 17 Sustainable Development Goals that were created by the United Nations can be used and applied on the metaverse. So reach out and connect using science, technology, engineering, arts, math, artificial intelligence, virtual reality, and the enhancement of ICT instruction. We must be sure that ICT instruction integrates these areas as well. Building digital cultures and digital literacy so Africans will have valuable and employable skills. Computer technologies that are available that will change people's lives, that will be used in construction, design and modeling, building, incorporating into business and entrepreneurial areas. ICT instruction needs to integrate these diverse avenues of learning to empower the youth, teens, and young adults across Africa because these are where the careers are going. This is where the world is going. And for Africans not to be involved will place them further behind the world in engagement, business ownership, entrepreneurship, and commerce. We are at the crossroads again of where technology can build Africa, technology can sustain Africa, technology can allow Africans to cross boundaries, borders, to help each other and empower each other. We have the creative freedom to learn. Let's take advantage of it. Let's connect together. Let's work together to build a wonderful and awesome Africa, which historically, because of the achievements across Africa from the past, has built this world to where it is able to function. But the foundation, we must remember, started in Africa. So Africa must again build itself to be a leader. Thank you for this opportunity to share and to talk and connect. As I said before, you can reach out to me on social media, My Quest to Teach. You can reach out to me through TikTok, Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, in all those connected areas to have a further discussion. And also, if you're interested in having a workshop for youth, teens, and young adults, we can do this virtually. You can use the technology. We can teach our African youth, teens, and young adults and prepare them for the world that is here and in the future. Thank you very much. God bless.